Filipinos are buying local and they're paying fast. GCash has become the go-to checkout across bazaars and pop-ups nationwide. For sellers and shoppers alike, the pop-up economy runs smoother, faster, and smarter with GCash for business.
Way easier, and also it saves you time. It's more efficient, effective as a seller.
It's the start of a dream. It's the start of a growth. It's the start of a new opportunity.
Yung pinaka-core thing that we really wanted to push is first to democratize all of the products that we have. Madali sa bulsa, madali mag-apply, and how do you make it easy for MSMEs to do business?
We are now open for business.
It is a signal to the world we are open for business.
The Filipino entrepreneurial spirit has found a new home in the pop-up economy. From weekend bazaars to mall pop-ups and neighborhood fairs, micro-entrepreneurs are bringing their brands directly to consumers, testing ideas and growing their market one stall at a time. But behind this creative movement is a quiet revolution in how business is done. Cashless tools like GCash for Business and SoundPay are turning payments secure and portable, empowering sellers to accept digital payments anytime, anywhere, and fast. In our previous conversations, we spoke with two GCash executives who introduced us to GCash for Business for MSMEs and G4B on how it enables businesses means for customers to pay conveniently and eventually help them scale. Building on those conversations, we look at how digital innovation is fueling this wave of mobile entrepreneurship. How going cashless makes it easier for MSMEs to manage sales, track growth, and scale up. Let's know how GCash empowers entrepreneurs as it simplifies complex and costly financial solutions, making it more accessible, affordable, and easy to use. Joining us this afternoon is Ms. Kate Cruz. She's the head for growth marketing of GCash for Business, who will share how GCash is becoming the backbone of this fast-moving pop-up economy where innovation meets hustle and mobility meets opportunity. With her these are my favorites because they represent the MSMEs. Not because you're not my favorite, Kate. Denise Chua, Operations Director of Creators Closet. Leo Salonga, Marketing and Communications Manager of World Bazaar Festival. How are all of you guys?
We're good.
I'm doing
Very
great,
exciting.
Cesar.
This is very exciting because this is a follow-through of our conversations with GCash. Social pa ngayon eh. Pop-up economy. Para nung panahon ko, tawag dyan, UK, di ba? May ukay-ukay, mga ganyan, mga tiyangge, mga ganun pa. Let's start first with Miss Kate because I've seen your background. You have managed a lot of brands, di ba? And with all these brands, I'm sure you have somehow encountered this as well in your journey, in managing these brands. Ganun ba talaga? Ano yung transformation, from the tiyangge, ukay-ukay to wow, pop-up? Okay.
Actually, hindi sila nagkakaiba masyado. I just think that the MSMEs right now have more opportunities to actually put up a business even without a brick and mortar store. And I think that's the beauty for when it originated, no? So ito yung mga ukay-ukay, mga tiyangge. Actually, the pop-ups are catering to the new generation of business owners now, wherein this generation is more open to new solutions. Medyo mas creative sila kung paano yung theme nila within the pop-up business. And of course, yung mga tools then that they use in terms of like catering to their customers. So it's actually the same. Ngayon lang, mas creative na tayo. That's why Denise and Dee are here to explain more of that. But in terms of how they do business, it's very similar.
Now, Denise, you look very young. I think you're still a Gen Z. But when you started ba, you called it pop-up na?
Actually, we started the whole thing, Creator's Closet yung name, but we didn't call it a pop-up because the main idea of it was just us creators who also founded it, selling clothes. So we wanted to be like a garage sale type at first.
Oh, isa pa yun, garage sale. Yun,
Yeah.
medyo buhay na ako noon nung tinawag na garage sale, di ba?
So I remember telling my friends who also helped me found this, no, na I wanted to make a garage sale for us creators. So I wanted to bank on our platforms, and being a creator, you have a lot of stuff kasi, di ba, you get a lot of clothes, you buy a lot of clothes for different kinds of events. So this problem of having a lot of stuff is actually very common for us. So I wanted an event na we get to declutter and also meet our communities, our respective communities. Kasi parang I see people enjoy that na they get to interact with their favorite creators, idols, ganon. So yeah, that's how it started.
Okay, I have a lot of follow-up questions there. But Leo, you represent the World Bazaar Festival. Pero is that the same concept? As Kate mentioned, nothing has changed. It's just the branding, or maybe, di ba, parang sa amin nun, partnership, ganun, they call it now collab, mga ganyan. So, is this just nomenclature? You just, change the branding lang?
Yes. Kung sa'yo, Cesar, UK, sa akin siguro it's palengke. Yes, because right now the bazaars really is rooted from our traditions and our culture, and that is to the palengke market, We love tangible items, we love to taste, and we love to, check out, yung mga materials and mga products, And so that's really the vision of World Bazaar Festival, to bring MSMEs to a wider audience, not just to a wider audience. In fact, it's 100,000 of audience. Just from our World Bazaar season from last December, we've welcomed 120,000 visitors for 10-day duration. So that's really the vision of World Bazaar Festival, to give a launch pad for MSMEs.
There are institutions that really represent where the market is, diba? You have the department stores, you have the brick and mortar establishments and all that. But when did you find it that it's workable for you to come up or participate or create this new business model?
I think as someone who always loves going to bazaars myself, parang it gives a sense of excitement going to events like this na you don't know what to expect, what's the thing that you're gonna find. So I thought of creating something that people enjoy, which is secondhand. So a lot of people love shopping or thrifting, and also inviting some small businesses over. So parang like what you said, collab din siya. So brand new items, and also supporting their favorite creators. Parang uso yung, where did you get this? Diba? Sama-sama nabili yung damit na to. So now you can shop it in one place and also support small businesses at the same time. So yun yung parang pinaka-goal ng Creator's Closet.
Miss Kate, you're in charge of growth marketing. This one is one of the avenues, di ba? To grow business, especially with the MSMEs. In your operations, are you specifically looking at this segment of the market where you spot this trend and then you focus your growth strategies with bazaars or the pop-up economy?
Actually, when we were building the brand, and of course, its core parang meaning, GCash for business, we actually thought of thinking or stepping back and thinking about Denise and Leo also. Wherein, ngayon kasi, even if, of course, may mga business owners, iba na rin yung landscape on how they do their businesses. And I feel like the opportunity or the trend now wherein people are more conscious in terms of like building pop-ups or bazaars for sustainability, for exposure, allowing accessibility for all of these micro merchants. I think that's where we can play a role, because if you look at the tools that are available to the MSMEs, usually terminal sila, right? I'm not saying that it's wrong, but basically the most basic device that should be available to them are deemed hard to get. So what we did as a brand is we really looked at that opportunity, because we thought dun kami may right to win. How do you democratize all of the tools and all of these payment devices for sellers like nandun sa World Bazaar or nasa designer's closet, wherein wala naman silang brick and mortar store na kailangan nila ng terminal.
Yes.
They're just there for a weekend. So how do you serve that type of merchant? I think that's where we wanted to start. Yeah.
From that response, Miss Kate, I see and feel that all of you are looking at this experience of the customer. How important, or what's the factor ba of that customer experience in the bazaar world? Iba ba yung feeling kapag pumupunta ka sa department store and then when you go to bazaar?
It's totally different celebration then at the same time. That's why on our World Bazaar Festival, aside from the merchants that we have on ground, that's about 500 plus. 400 of those are local, 100 of those are international, no? Aside from that, we also inject new ideas, new concept, no? Yung mga bagong activities and highlights. We also inject mga competitions on ground para mas celebratory din yung feeling and the atmosphere of being in the bazaar itself. Aside from doing shopping, kapag medyo pagod na si mommy, manonood ako dun sa gitna ng stage, may celebrity doon, pupunta ang mga KOLs, and they would introduce their brands, It's really a celebration. It's a lifestyle. That's the feeling of the bazaar, no? It's iba eh. Actually, yun ang role ng mga KOLs and influencers, to spread the words. Ganun tayo mga Pinay, kapag nakarinig tayo, ay, maganda dito, you come and visit. Yes. Definitely, the rest of the family will come and visit.
What challenges do you face when you are participating in bazaars, especially in terms of checkouts or closing a sale?
As an organizer, apart from making sure that the whole event is organized, we don't encounter any problems in terms of people participating, I think we also have to make it a point na yung checkout process or paying, and making a sale would be smooth for our customers and also the merchants. So we make sure that when these customers go there, they won't encounter anyone saying na, oh, we don't have change or do you have exact amount. So yun kasi yung parang nagkakos ng pause. So they would think twice if they're gonna make a purchase when they hear those words, or we don't accept, for example, QR code or online payment. So that's another thing also that would hinder these customers from making a purchase. So we have to make sure that we have a lot of modes of payments available for the people who visit our event.
Of course, the bazaars are opportunities or venues where MSMEs also grow, di ba? In your experience, how do you help MSMEs grow their business through the bazaars?
Oh, there's a lot of way to help them, no? Actually, that's where GCash can come in, no? It's so expensive, hello, if you're gonna rent to a department store or to a bigger space, no? Like big malls out there, it's so expensive to be there. Mas less yung mga expenses if they go to a weekend pop-up bazaars, no, like ours and like Denise, no. Also yung mga opportunities like GCash, they won't be able to experience that to a big spaces like malls, no. And also yung mga opportunities like SoundPay na that we're introducing on ground.
Magkaiba ba yung rate ng GCash or fees when it's sent to large enterprise or those who are in the business of brick and mortar versus the ones involved in the pop-up economy?
Definitely, it's different for each of our competitors and of course us. But as I've mentioned kanina, when we were thinking about the brand and our customers, yung pinaka-core thing that we really wanted to push is first to democratize all of the products that we have. When I say democratize, it means dapat mas madali sa bulsa. Because we acknowledge the fact na ang hirap maging business owner kung masyado nang mataas yung capital or the investment that you need in order for you to even get a device to receive payments. And second, of course, dapat mas madali ka rin nagkakapag-apply, madali sa bulsa, madali mag-apply, and I think the third is really, is it easy to use? If you just think about GCash as it is, the brand and what it does, ang dali kasi. And I think that's why, admittedly, a lot of our business owners in the Philippines have already been using GCash, not even GCash for business, because they discovered that there is a way for them to receive payments so easily just by creating a QR code and displaying it in their bazaar. But going back to GCash for business, I think we took inspiration from that. Basically, yung tanong is, if business owners are already using GCash because it's easy, because it's convenient, everything is there, paano natin yun gagawin pero sa mga merchants talaga so that they feel that it is really for them and not just because they are using GCash? So I think that's why they also mentioned earlier that, GCash is also now a part of this growing market, the weekend markets, the pop-ups, the bazaars, because as easy as they can access all of these bazaars, it should also be easy for them to get payment or access solutions for their businesses.
This research is related to my next question. It says here, bazaars and weekend markets are a vibrant sub-segment of Philippine retail. They serve as discovery platforms for indie brands. So maybe if you can educate me later what indie brands are, an entry point for micro entrepreneurs and important seasonal revenue drivers. They sit at the intersection of lifestyle retail, food and beverage, and the informal retail economy, all increasingly digitized. So the question, Denise, is, pag ganyan bang bazaar, pop-up, ano ba yung product categories na mabilis mabenta sa events and even peak days?
Well, we call ourselves Creators Closet, no? So, mainly for our bazaar, it will definitely be second-hand clothing. So, majority of our merchants are the creators selling their clothes.
So, kunyari, dapat KOL ka or Key Opinion Leader,
Yes.
correct?
These KOLs, no, are content creators that these people see online. So, mostly they have a platform on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and we kind of curate these KOLs or creators to those belonging to the fashion, lifestyle, and beauty. Para talagang people, when they go there, they have a purpose na, I want to shop this person's closet. Ganon. Kasi I like his style, I like her style. Same kami ng katawan. So, yun yung parang tinatry namin i-promote sa space namin. And then when it comes to our merchants, of course, since I've also mentioned that we partner up with organizers, so they are the ones who curate the merchants that we feature. So, syempre, you have to choose then sino ba yung babagay. So, most of our audiences are millennials, Gen Zs as well, and some are also students then. We make sure that these merchants kind of complement the people that go to our event. So, pwede yung mga nagbebenta ng anik-anik, bags, ganyan, mga drinks, food. So, kailangan parang lahat ng mga boxes na yon ma-check siya, especially yung good food. Because I think in pop-ups, di ba, parang kailangan laging maraming... tsaka laging masarap yung pagkain.
Yes.
Kasi if hindi, parang aalis agad yung mga tao eh. So, yun talaga, parang those are a lot of the demographics that we have to hit. What I like about our pool is because everyone prices their materials or their products in a very reasonable way. So, I can probably say na maraming pumupunta is because we never overprice anything. So, it's always, when they go there, para sa nag-uukay, pero kailan nila yung may-ari ng gamit.
How about your experience, Leo?
The World Bazaar Festival kasi is in World Trade Center. So imagine that World Trade Center is occupied by 700 plus merchant, no? It's divided into 4 segments, no? So you have the Designers Avenue where we sell mga designers clothes, mga designers bag. There's also RTWs, mga ready-to-wears. And I think we also saw a good number in terms of mga beauty products. It sells like a pancake, beauty products. I think we're all conscious right now with our faces, with our body, with our skin. And another that we just introduced from last year is the pop culture. Meaning we've introduced mga sticky expo, the stickers, small anik-anik. It sells like, grabe, it sells like pancake like what I've mentioned, no? So there's a zone called Sticky Expo. So we partnered with another organizer, no? There's like about 50 merchant in that zone alone. And ang dami pumupunta dun sa area na yun. There's Gen Zs, there's millennials. I guess you also saw this as opportunity yung mga Gen Zs kasi are now in the working class and they have the capacity to buy already.
Is GCash also looking for, the trends in the pop-up economy? Kasi, like for example, we have the popular weekend markets where there's food, there's lifestyle markets, there's street food as well. Do you also spot, those trends and somehow come up with solutions, that will address how or what makes them grow bigger?
Yes, actually you're correct. Like what I said earlier, yun talaga yung gusto namin i-target right now. Not because we don't want to cater to small or medium enterprises, but we really thought that as GCash, with our vision for finance for all, yun talaga yung natural route. It's really to service those who are underserved. Of course, you can still pay in cash, definitely cash is there. Pero how do you extend the type of innovations even to the smallest of sellers? Yun naman talaga yung objective or yung goal namin as a brand. So definitely we look at all of these trends. When we were starting out and developing our devices, mga bazaars, micro sellers, food and bev merchants are actually the segments that we really want to own and talk to. Kaya ganun din yung mga products that we're actually pushing out.
Kate, with this research also, it says here that GCash is one of the dominant payment trails powering MSME acceptance. GCash publicly reports millions of merchants and social sellers on its platform, and your recent product launches explicitly target micro and pop-up merchants to accept card payments via smartphone. So, are you in the business of now creating a digital infrastructure for the pop-up economy?
Yes, of course. One of the most innovative products that we've also launched is called, you've mentioned it earlier, Pocket Pay. Tamang-tama yung question nyo, sir, kasi when we say that we're targeting like merchants from bazaars or weekend market merchants, we thought that if you are a merchant na nag-e-engage ka lang sa mga events during weekends only or not even regularly, but you also have products that are actually more expensive. One of the things that we thought was, paano kaya kung magbabayad yung customer ng credit card, right? And when they pay through credit card, as a merchant, of course, you have to own a terminal. And to be very honest, it's not very affordable to actually get a terminal for you, especially when you're starting out, especially when you are just joining a bazaar weekend. So we thought that, what if there is a product that will allow you to accept credit card payments, but you don't need to rent a terminal, pay for a terminal, but of course you still have to pay for the credit card fees. And that's why we actually launched Pocket Pay, wherein it really is a tool wherein you can use your phone to accept credit card payments. So that's one of the innovations that we're proud of launching, especially for, the micro segment in MSME. And then the second one would be SoundPay. So sa totoo lang, lagi ko na-explain pag I have a friend or kaamiga na, ano ba yung SoundPay na yan? Ganyan. Of course, I would tell them that it actually is self-explanatory. When you look at the product, SoundPay means that it has a sound every time you receive a payment. I know it might sound simple because may sound lang na QR, but actually these are the nuances that we wanted to focus on, because kahit maliit lang siyang friction or problem for the merchant, ang laki ng impact when you address that. Because right now, if you're say a bazaar merchant, ang gulo eh. 'Di ba usually kapag micro seller ka, ikaw ang cashier, ikaw rin yung taga-promote ng products mo, ikaw rin yung taga-balot, ikaw yung taga-bigay. Therefore, it's very, very busy. Usually, they would have one assistant, but SoundPay, what it intends to do is to augment that experience na hindi ka lang one cashier. Basically, even if you're doing a lot of things, you can hear the confirmation through the sound every time somebody pays you. So, it eradicates you checking your phone if it's confirmed. Second, also for our merchants naman to feel that all the payments are being received and they're safely received. Because right now, marami ring issues mga scamming, and therefore we wanted to make sure that if they get paid, secure payments yung maririnig nila.
I'll go back to Denise and Leo. You always mention about this curation, di ba? Parang curating, di ba? Parang dati, sa edad ko rin, parang museum lang ang kinocurate, di ba? Ngayon, parang you curate what you sell. How do you do that? Do you observe changes in consumer behavior as part of your curation? And maybe you can segue to yung mga sellers ba and buyers ninyo. Kunyari, kayo ba nagsimula na talaga na cashless na, or nagsimula din kayo na traditional na pagbibenta na okay, ito bayad o ito barya, ganyan. How did you start, Denise?
For us, the way we curate the people joining our bazaar, no? Kasi since social media is a huge part of our lives as content creators, we make it a point to check the trends, sino ba yung mga uso, ano ba yung mga uso, of course, who has good branding, what kind of products do we think people are interested at the moment. So like Leo mentioned, Kina, stickers, kasi journaling's a big thing right now. So people love to buy those small things. So of course, definitely, kailangan lagi may ganun kami sa Bazaar din.
You mentioned journaling.
Yes.
So yung panahon kayan, ang journaling parang diary yan.
Yes. Right now, it's called journaling. People like to, decorate these, parang scrapbooking siya actually,
Oh, okay.
but people call it now as journaling na siya.
Okay.
So yeah, we make it a point to include stuff that people would find interesting at the moment. So right now, we're actually planning our summer bazaar. So may summer items then incorporated sa bazaar. Para talagang pasok siya sa theme.
Did you start cashless na?
For that, actually, I also briefed my merchants and KOLs na we have to offer cashless and also bring back up na change because there's always this term na may GCash po ba kayo? As a consumer myself, I rarely bring cash din. So I tell them na let's prepare, kahit nung pinaka-first installation namin, let's prepare QR codes. We have to have QRs present, ganyan, para smooth yung payment process. Kasi we want to make it smooth for everyone, end-to-end, from us who sell and also those who purchase. Kailangan easy yung process. And then for the recent one, that's when we had really good support with GCash and SoundPay. So I actually found it very helpful, especially for our merchants, because like what they mentioned na as a merchant, very busy ka. So, very aligaga ka sa gumagawa ng matcha, di ba? Nag-collect ng payment.
Yeah.
So, hindi na nila kailangan i-check na tapos na po yung purchase, ganyan, nagbayad na po ako. So, nakaka-minus siya sa kailangan mong isipin or gawin as a merchant. And super happy din ako na I see other people still using it even with other bazaars. So I still go to bazaars regularly now and I see our previous merchants bringing this with them. So very happy ako that I see SoundPay everywhere.
For World Bazaar Festival, there was a huge impact after the pandemic. Before pandemic, pre-pandemic, hindi mahulugang karaya mong World Bazaar Festival. It's like the divisoria of the South, really. Buong aisle, punong-puno na mga shoppers everywhere. Unfortunately, came pandemic. No? Back in 2021, we returned in Quezon City. We tried our best to return an outdoor festival. No? Medyo lumamlam ang market that time. And then, we returned to World Trade Center back in 2022, celebrating our 18th year. Slowly nawawala ang culture ng buying capacity ng mga tao because of the advent of the e-commerce.
Yeah.
Yan ang matinding kalaban ng mga bazaars like us. It's the e-commerce. So how do we fight the battle of the e-commerce? It's introducing something new. It's doing phygital on ground. How do we do the phygital? It's introducing live selling on ground.
Phygital combination of physical and digital.
So nakakatawa because we are encouraging our merchants to do live selling, mag-live selling kayo sa mga booth spaces ninyo, and we also introduce a studio like this one. It's called
Very
a
nice.
Studio Pop, where we have
Studio Pop,
It's a
bago na
studio
naman
pop.
yun. Okay, sige.
where we every hour nagla-live selling yung mga merchants natin. For the 10-day duration, very active ang social media natin. So we're just grateful for partners like GCash, for trusting brands like us and Denise, for introducing their product, their innovation to our clients, to our merchant. And I guess we share the same vision, and that is really to innovate and help MSMEs, and introduce something new to their business.
Mas madali ka bang makaklose ng sale if it's via the GCash solutions?
Definitely, it's way easier, and also it saves you time. It's more efficient, effective as a seller, because at least based on my own experience, I was like, okay, here is my QR code, just pay. So it takes you less than 5 minutes versus people having to rummage through their bags, looking for the exact amount. Or as a seller, pag maubusan ka ng change, mahirap na yun parang meron ba kayong piso dyan or something, di ba? So, at least with GCash and also the online payments and QR codes, it's way easier for us sellers din. So, hindi na namin kailangan manukuli. Less than a minute and you've already paid us. Ganon.
Leo, mas mataas ba ang benta pag naka-GCash?
Yes, definitely. I want to go back to a personal story of mine.
Go ahead.
When I was a little, ang dream ko talaga ay maging isang cashier. Tuwang-tuwa ako kapag naririnig ako na
Bakit hindi tayo?
And for me, the sound of GCash, of SoundPay, is a signal of new sale from the merchant. it's the start of a dream, it's the start of a growth, it's the start of a new opportunity. And nakakatuwa to share this kind of opportunity to MSMEs. No? Thank you, GCash, for this new innovation. And I've just recently heard also GCash is offering loans to MSMEs.
Yes.
Aside from that, they never stop from innovating. They also introduce cryptocurrency, and they never stop in doing something new in the digital world.
The question would always be, how easy or convenient is it to embrace these solutions? Baka naman mahirap. How easy is it? Especially, we have a lot of small businesses also and MSMEs who are watching, because that's really the purpose of the show Open for Business.
I'll go back to the word easy. I think it has been my goal today to really promote how easy it is to access all of the tools. If iisipin mo nga naman, lahat ng establishments that actually provide tools, they're making it easy for the consumers. The reason why there's e-commerce is for us to be able to empower MSMEs also who do not have the budget to have a brick and mortar. The reason why they exist is actually primarily that. And with GCash for Business, that's basically our DNA. How do you make it easy for MSMEs to do business? And for me to illustrate that, let me walk you through kung paano nga.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Sabihin na natin, you have a GCash account.
Okay.
And I would like to assume that with our users, meron naman siguro kayong GCash, right? So if you are a verified GCash customer, at least customer for 12 months, you can actually apply already for GCash for Business. No requirements needed. Siguro pinaka-basic na lang is ID, but because we have verified your identity through our database also as a GCash user, you can now become a GCash for Business merchant.
Regardless of the money you have in GCash.
Yes. I think one of the barriers also is that para siyang chicken and egg kasi. If you are not able to provide businesses tools, if you make it a lot harder for them to access these tools, yung byproduct niya is you're limiting the growth, not just of the merchants, but our economy. And really limiting also their capacity to understand how to live in a world where innovation is at the center of it. So the first step really is to enable access to all of these tools, and then later on, educate on how to do it. In our industry in GCash, it's really enabling majority of Filipinos, no? Hindi naman lahat sila tech-savvy, pero sobrang maparaan. Kaya gumagamit sila ng GCash. But how do you challenge yourself as a brand, no? To ensure that even, like what you said, all these financial tools or financial services are also available to the merchants, who are definitely 90% of, di ba, the growth.
Digital economy.
Yes.
We are actually the fastest growing digital
Correct.
economy.
So if that's the case, then of course you have to make sure that we democratize all of these financial services to them, especially if they are merchants.
Yeah.
As what Leo mentioned earlier, I know we've been talking about SoundPay, I've mentioned Pocket Pay, but the tools that we actually have for GCash for Business goes beyond payments. Right now, if you are a verified GCash user, pwede ka na maka-access ng portal namin wherein you can apply for a loan, you can apply for insurance, and I think one of my favorite features would be zero transfer fees, at least for suppliers. If you want to pay bills, zero fees as well. So I think this is one way to separate, no, your personal account also and business account to ensure that all of the things that you need as a merchant is accessible and also easy on the pocket. So yung easy is embedded in all of the things we do, from application to usage and even the daily transactions that you have as a business woman or man.
Which is basically the best practice to separate, especially if you're an entrepreneur or a startup, you have to separate your personal from your business accounts. Now, is going cashless the new norm? Tell us how you support this trend as an organizer or vendor and your customers, and what positive changes did you see in your merchants' management of the stalls in bazaars in the use of cashless payment solutions?
Definitely think new norm na natin yung going cashless, no? Because like what I've mentioned, it saves everyone time and effort. So when we need change, syempre pupunta pa tayo sa mga bank, ganyan, or mag-withdraw pa tayo. So with cashless and of course using GCash, I think it helps everyone save the time and effort of having to go out of their way, you know, just to get cash with them. And Also, it helps us track our finances better. So, di ba, with the number, you see it in your phone, at least, okay, ganito, ito na yung meron akong amount, ganyan. It helps us also have more financial literacy, which is something that everyone needs to know nowadays, kasi syempre, importante din yun as a merchant and as someone who owns a business.
Your insight there, Leo.
Ah, yes. Ang laging tanong ng mga customers natin to every merchant, may GCash po ba kayo? And of course, that is really a signal to us na totoo, this is the new industry and we are in the new norm of on-ground selling right now. And nakakatuwa because at least 70 to 80% of our merchant are using GCash. They have 10 cards appearing in their booth, and GCash is like everywhere now, whether that is on bazaars, even in palengkes, even in sari-sari stores, it's everywhere.
Just to insert something, I remember applying for my very own GCash account way back when I was in college pa. Parang may boost pa yon na in order to cash in everything. So, it just goes to show na talagang malayo na yung narating when it comes to online payments and using GCash because it's really convenient for everyone.
So, Kate, is this the new era for business?
Yes. If you are a business solution provider, ang number one thing that you have to know naman is your market. And what we're realizing is business owners nowadays, they're evolving as fast as how the solutions around them are. So right now, sobrang, yun nga, madiskarte na they actually teach themselves how to use all of these solutions. And therefore, as a GCash for business solution provider, tama lang na when we look at our products and the solutions that we have, they're supposed to be at the same level or standard that the new era of business owners are catering to or that are demanding for. So, yes, we are entering a new era of doing business, an era wherein we're catering to different, unique merchants. Hindi na sila pare-parehas. We're also catering to creative merchants. Dati, basta nagtitinda ka, businesswoman ka na now, kailangan creative ka when it comes to anong klaseng products yung bebenta ko. How am I going to sell it? What are the channels that I can use? Like for example, what Leo said ngayon, may live selling while it's really an omni-channel world now. So the challenge now for us as a business solution provider is how do we match that? How do we get ahead and ensure that not only we're catering to merchants, but we're also changing how they look at the services and all of the innovative tools that should be available to them.
But Kate, we are not against the traditional ones
No,
naman. Like say, for
definitely.
example, you still have the POS
Yes.
machines,
Yeah.
di ba, ganyan. But are there experiences where they come in hand?
Yeah. So how we look at it is when you talk about GCash for business, we're not just, of course, talking about micro sellers. We also have products for small and medium merchants. Actually, depende yun kung ano yung kailangan ng merchant. Like bazaar merchants, even when they do all of their weekend bazaar, sometimes kaya nila and afford nila to get the POS. And definitely GCash for business can cater to that. What I mean is that we're not veering away from traditional ways. Of course, they will still be there and it will be there when they are needed. But right now also, we want to make sure and we want to highlight that marami na ring micro sellers that need innovative solutions beyond the traditional ones. And I think what we want to establish also as a brand is that when it comes to accessing all of these tools from SoundPay, PocketPay, POS terminals that we will be launching in the future, we're there because we want to cater to the different types of merchants that are demanding for different types of solutions as well.
Kate, the reason why we are talking about bazaars, kasi Denise and Leo are here. Pero beyond bazaars, how do you widen your services or your reach? I'm sure it's not only for bazaars lang, but do you have other partnerships, other services?
So one of the most beautiful things that I actually do for GCash is that apart from B2B, we also have B2G. And usually we partner up with the government as well. And of course, renowned institutions that service the MSME segment. To name a few, we've also partnered with DTI. We've partnered with DTI because, as we know, DTI has a very strong value and principle wherein they're trying to help uplift the MSME segment.
Yes.
They have this program, it's called DTI Negosyo Center, wherein they will have activities run nationwide. In all of the activity center across the Philippines, I'm happy to share that GCash is also there. This way, for those, kunwari, cities pa, mga nasa provinces wherein they still need to know or discover what are the tools available to them, we're also taking the opportunity with this partnership wherein there is a GCash representative there to answer all of their questions. Kung meron sila mga katanungan na, paano ba ako maglo-loan? Paano ba ako kukuha ng capital because I want to have a business? They can inquire there. And they can definitely apply also there because, as I've said, our solutions are not just limited, of course, nandito si Denise and Leo, not just to bazaar merchants, but also even to the palengkes. I could imagine a world na kahit tricycle driver pwede mag-accept ng GCash.
Exactly.
So apart from that, kasi I've been talking about sound pay, pocket pay, I think what I failed to mention earlier is that GCash for business, ang inspiration talaga namin is GCash, diba? So si GCash as a direct consumer, you can pay your bills, you can pay your loans, you can apply for a loan, etc. But for the tools and services that we need to push out for the businesses, na para sa merchants lang, we do want to promote GCash for business for that because it goes beyond just payments. So definitely you can do loans, insurance, disburse. May trivia nga ako, sir.
Go ahead.
Did you know that si GCash, nagsimula talaga yung recognition niya was during the pandemic?
Yeah.
Because there wasn't any way for you to actually pay, buy stuff, and also for the government disburse. So GCash is actually a tool used by the government and of course the merchants to receive payments so that umiikot pa rin yung economy natin even at the comfort and safety of our home. So, ganun din yung gusto namin gawin, and this time, we do want to leverage on our partnership with the government and of course with DTI. We also have partnerships with Canva, TikTok, Tuksumo, and Startup Village. This way, we're not just focusing on our products, but we're also focusing on the needs of the merchants first, and how it should be easy for them to discover all of the tools that are available to them and just ground ourselves in teaching them kung paano itong gamitin.
Maybe you can talk about your bazaars, that is your camera, and where can they find you, how can they participate in your bazaars, and your advice that you give to sellers who also want to use digital payment and the services of GCash.
First of all, Sir Cesar, thank you very much for inviting us here, and thank you so much for brands like GCash for trusting World Bazaar Festival and events like us. Your trust and support really matters to us. We've just celebrated our 20th year last December, and we wouldn't be able to do a magnitude of event like World Bazaar Festival without the support of government sector and private industries. The organizers of World Bazaar Festival is World Services International. We also have 16 other events. Please do check out our websites. That's worldbexevents.com. My advice to MSMEs out there is just very simple. Go and innovate. Never stop from believing your product and your services. There's no way to go but up.
Lovely, Leo. Denise.
Of course, thank you, Sir Cesar and Miss Kate, for having us here. And where you can find us is at Creators Closet Cleanup on all social media websites. We're actually doing another bazaar this April, so hope you guys can check that out. Actually, my advice is to, like what Leo said, believe in yourself. So before, I only just had a vision as well that I wanted to do a little garage sale myself. And I wouldn't have imagined that this business of ours would grow into something as big as what we have it today. And, having the opportunity to work with such a big brand like GCash, and with their support, talagang we were able to go beyond of what our real goal was. I hope you guys can visit us in our next bazaar.
Wow, and we all want MSMEs to grow, and there is no other person who can give the parting words than the head of growth marketing of GCash, Miss Kate.
So for all of the MSMEs out there, those who are participating in bazaars or even starting out, I'd like to invite all of you to just learn about our products and how easy it will be for you to use them or to access them at business.gcash.com.
Maraming salamat sa isang oras na pagsama sa amin upang tunghayan ang isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25 TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines. Sharpen your business acumen, feel the pulse, and set the trend for as long as you're informed and open for business. Ito po si Cesar Vallejos. Marami pong salamat.